you, Pete. Good evening. I'd like to call the March 1st, 2022 Legislative and Ordinance Committee meeting to order. In attendance, we have Councilor Burns, Councilor Adams, Councilor Figge from the committee. We have Mark Slotty, city engineer, and one of his last acts before he goes off into the sunset. We have a city solicitor, Shanna Reed. We have Kristen Mell, city councilor, Caitlin Bruce, our scribe. Catherine Weppert, I assume, is a resident, and Rick Kay. Did I miss anybody? Anybody else out there? All right. I'm looking for a motion for approval of the minutes from the February 10th, 2022 meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes from the February 10th, 2022 meeting.
Second. Motion made by Councilor Adams, seconded by Councilor Burns. Any further discussions, corrections, or additions? Seeing none, roll call vote. Councilor Burns.
Yes.
Councilor Adams.
Yes.
Councilor Figge, yes. Motion passes 3-0. We come to the part of the meeting for public participation. There's 15 minutes allocated, 3 minutes per speaker. If you'd like to address the L&O committee, please raise your hand.
Oh. I'm just here basically to find out what's going on because I really haven't had much communication on the easement on my property. I did meet with one of the engineers as well as the appraiser that came out, I think it was December 15th, where they were going to figure out what was going on with the property. I mean, I really don't like the idea of an easement on the property. I understand it needs to be done and all that kind of stuff. But Mike, I guess my question is, does it have anything to do with lowering the taxes or any of that kind of thing where when I first bought the property 30 years ago, I didn't have to have flood insurance. Now, because and that's not anything to do with you, but now they're requiring flood insurance over here. I've never had a flood in my backyard. The water has never even come into my yard. I once had a tiny little stream that went into the lowest part of my area. And now with the easement, I'm a teacher. I've been in Westfield for a few decades now, and I'm also a real estate person. I do part-time. And whenever I've had a client and they look at property with easements on it, they kind of they don't like it. And I know it's a simple easement. It's an easement that goes because of the culvert. I mean, it never had an easement there before, but I'm sure that's because it was decades ago when the road was built. But I don't know. I never liked the idea of putting an easement on the property because it kind of turns your head. I mean, every person I've ever worked with, they say, "Oh, what's the easement for?" I don't want to deal with things like this. So I'm basically, is there any way that easement can come off? Does it have to stay on the property forever? Is there a compensation for the taxes on this property because of the easement? Is there some type of compensation for that? Is basically what I'm looking for. And when they say taking the easement, I mean, they're just taking it? Is there, and I guess maybe you'll tell us more about that when it comes?
We'll explain a lot more of that once that item comes up.
Okay.
Hopefully we can answer your questions that way. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your questions and your input.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I see that Galaxy S10e has joined us. Can you identify yourself for the record, please?
Hey, Vinsky. Hi.
Hey, that was a real curveball, I'll tell you. Glad you're here. Anybody else wishing to address the L&O committee in public participation? It's a tongue twister. Seeing none, the public participation is closed. The next item on the agenda is item 5. I'm looking for a motion to approve the amendment to the zoning ordinance to allow tap rooms and similar accessories use in industrial A district by right.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion's been made by Councilor Adams, second by Councilor Burns on tap rooms. This is coming back to us for a second time as it timed out in L&O the first time. Basically, you can see there's two resolutions. Oh, actually, they're not resolutions. 2 ordinance amendments. The first one deals with adding tap rooms to what is allowed in by right and industrial A. It also gives a definition. And then Jay, through his, and Jay, when I'm done, make sure I did it right, okay? There's a second ordinance amendment that will now bring tap rooms in business B into the same kind of regulation as the tap rooms in industrial A and a by right with the definition. So these two ordinance amendments are needed just to keep things consistent throughout our code of ordinances. How'd I do, Jay?
Fine. So just to be clear, there would just be one ordinance reported out.
Yeah.
I assume. So the slimmed down original version is what came out of ZPD, where they just created this new use, specifically tap rooms, defined it, and said they're allowed in industrial A. I wasn't really involved in the drafting of that, but I'm suggesting that since you're creating a new use, specifically tap rooms, which we don't currently have defined anywhere, that you also specify that those are also allowed in where they currently exist, the business zones. Just to be clear, so someone 10 years from now doesn't read the ordinance saying, I can only have tap rooms in industrial A. So that's the clarifying language was added in that second version.
And I don't see that as an issue that needs to go through public hearings or anything, that we can just bring that out onto the floor as a package and have 2 votes. Just reading by title only. Is that, we good with that?
Yeah, whatever council wants to proceed with, of course.
Okay, any questions on tap rooms, what they are, how they get licensed, anything like that, guys?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, Councilor Burns.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Which one of these is gonna be is it the one in yellow or the second page or the first page?
We're gonna bring both of them out. The first page is the new one for industrial A. And because
Right.
we now have a definition of a tap room in our code of ordinances, we need to make sure that where they are currently allowed by right, which is in business zone, that's also allowed there. So the second one that's got the yellow just takes the definition and expands it from industrial A into business A and B.
Yeah, if I may, just to be clear, probably be easier just to report the second one out as a single ordinance change.
Right.
In the yellow.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you're agreeable to those
We're gonna
suggestions.
take them to us as separate things. So we'll vote on the first one is the definition of tap room and by right in industrial A. Okay,
Let's clarify that. It sounds,
okay. There'll be 2 votes on the tap rooms. The first one will be allowing tap rooms in industrial A by right. Okay, so
That's the first one.
motion that we got. And that's what's on the floor at this point. Kate, you confused or you good?
So the second one includes that as well. So
Right,
you wouldn't necessarily need, I would think you wouldn't necessarily need more than one vote, because the language of the highlighted one includes that first version that came out of ZPD.
okay.
right. Yeah, so it sounds like the second one, sounds like if we vote on the second one, everything's included in this language.
Right,
Mr. Chair, I think that's what Jay's saying.
That's what
correct.
I-
The second one just supplements what ZPD reported out.
I mean, this is gone through all the boards, right?
Gone to the planning board twice. The first time it was approved.
Right.
5-2. The second time it was approved 6-1 without the changes that ZBD made. The issues that we had when it was in a public hearing on the floor, a lot of it was around golf balls and things like that. And this takes all that out of the way. The Savage Arms, shooting galleries, all that kind of stuff is
Right.
going, because it's specific now to tap rooms.
Right, so the original was just kind of a broad accessory use kind of thing, which, could apply to more other types of uses. CPD whittled it down to just specifically tap rooms and define that as a new kind of use in our zoning.
Okay, any other questions?
I get it.
Seeing none, a yes vote is in favor of the addition of the tap rooms. Counselor Burns,
Yes.
Counselor Adams,
Yes,
Counselor Figgy, yes. The motion passes a 3-0 vote for a positive recommendation for the additions. Okay. Moving on, next item, I'm looking for a motion to amend, submitting an order of taking of easements of 113 City View Road and 112 City View Road.
so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. City Engineer Mark Crissati is here. Mark, you heard some of the questions that Ms. Whippert had. Can you help us out and give us a little bit of the background, the procedure, how this all came about, and why the easements are necessary?
Sure. Excuse me. So we have a culvert under City View Road, which we're all familiar with, is failing. We need to replace it. It currently is partially on private property. What has been designed as far as wing walls and the culvert will require permanent encumbrance on existing private property. So we've had it appraised, and I believe Mrs. Whippert has mentioned, she's spoken to the appraiser. And she's spoken, I'm not sure who in engineering, but either Casey Berube in Public Works or Jeremy Siegel in the engineering department, who has since vacated as well, met and talked to the residents. The appraiser came back with the appraised values that are in front of you. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but the appraised value for the encumbrance on the property for Mrs. Whippert's property is somewhere around, I think around $1,500, something to that extent. So it's not a significant encumbrance on the property. And understand this is a culvert where a brook flows through, so it's not property that you could be using anyways. It's bank, it's a resource area, it's water flowing through it. So there's really no way around doing this. It's a necessary taking, and for us to construct the culvert without the easement, it's something we just couldn't do legally. So this is a necessary step. Are there any further questions I could answer?
To me?
One moment.
I guess the other thing I'm concerned is, as the city has removed trees from that area where they drop them from the road, they leave them. They left them in the yard. As a matter of fact, there's one that's probably about, 2 feet in diameter, maybe 6 to 8 feet long. I actually have to stand on top of it to get down to the beachy area. I mean, is it just going to be another dumping ground where when they take the trees out, are they going to leave them again? I even mentioned to the city engineer, I think it's pretty sad how Westfield has dropped trees and left them. They didn't take them. My son had to get a little bobcat kind of thing. We moved him off the side of the road and we shoved him out behind my shed. That some of these, they're huge. They're just gigantic. I heat with wood, and if it was small enough, I'd split it. But these are enormous. They also, where the culvert, that part of the yard, that they're going to be bringing their excavator, whatever they got to bring down there. I'm sure they have to do some work on the yard. Are they going to remove all these things that are down there that the city has already left? Or is it just going to be more stuff they're just going to drop and leave?
So first of all, I'm not sure why the city would have dropped trees or.
Oh, you should see them. They're there. I didn't cut them down.
I'm not questioning. I just don't know why they did it. So I'm not sure what department. I know it wasn't engineering, so it's not my department. But that would be a good question, perhaps, for the ward councilor to pursue with the appropriate parties of Public Works. I will tell you, though, that the project that is now under engineering, they will clean up their work. They will not disturb your property and not restore whatever disturbance there is. They should be able to execute the work from the roadway and not be going across your lawn and so forth. The easement, I don't believe encompasses any of your lawn.
No.
And certainly if you have our phone number, I invite you to give us a call should an occurrence occur, and we'll be right on top of it with the contractor. But for the trees that are there, again, it needs to go to the appropriate party in Public Works to remove them. And
Right,
maybe
'cause
they
this
can
is-
just cut them up for you. If you heat with wood, maybe they could just cut them up smaller for you. Make it
They're
more manageable.
huge. They're huge. They're right on that part of the property. They're not in my yard part. They're part from the culvert towards 10 and 202 in that little area where there's a path that we used to walk down and people have gone down there and fishing. And these are just left there. They've been there over the years. They're accumulating. Whatever they dropped, they just left.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I can't speak to what, where, why.
Yeah, it's not something I was gonna pursue, but now that they're in there, it's just another mess that they're gonna leave. And it's, I don't want to do that. I don't have any intention of moving, but
Yep.
I kind of like to have it nice again.
So if we don't get resolution with another department, I'll see what I can do with the contractor about trying to clean things up.
All right.
Kate,
Thank
I'll
you.
stop by. Kate, I'll stop by, okay?
Yeah. And now I guess another question is there a way that easement can come off or no? That's
I'm
to stay?
sorry, no, yeah.
No,
Has to
Yeah,
stay.
I mean, so we're already, we're already trespassing. And so, this is so that we're not trespassing. And
Right.
yeah, it's not going away.
I can't just give you permission, like a hold harmless agreement? I can't do something like that?
I'm not a lawyer, but my understanding is that's not sufficient.
Oh,
and probably way back when the culvert went in first, there wasn't zoning.
Right.
The need, and they just,
Laws are very different,
things are different at this point,
right?
but you do have.
All right. And so then, do they connect anything with taxes? I mean, can I?
Yeah,
is
you
that
certainly can. Yeah, you certainly can approach the appraiser. You can go to the assessor's office and say, hey, I have an encumbrance now on my property. It should reflect itself in the value of the property. I
Okay.
can't speak for them, but at least it's something you can pursue with them.
Yeah, that's
All
an
right.
action you can do.
All right. And then this payment, whatever it is, that's just a one-time thing as a rental type of a deal?
Not,
It's a one-time payment for the rights to the property, right?
But so they actually hold a right to the property?
They hold so though you'll own the dirt, the city is acquiring rights over the dirt to locate this culvert.
Yeah, I know there's nothing I can do. I can put this in a court and fight it. There's no way. Why? It's my road. I have to have a road.
You do have legal repercussion, obviously, but it is a taking,
but
so the
It doesn't
issue
make
of-
sense.
The issue of the title or the right to be there, once it's taken, it's taken. But certainly, if you have a question on unfair compensation, you have a right to question that. But I will say we did have an appraiser do the appraisal on it.
Okay. So I guess there's like the exclusive right, like what kind of, is this an exclusive right?
It's only to the city of Westfield. I'm not sure from a legal perspective what you mean by exclusive.
I guess it's just Westfield would be on it and I still
That's
can go on it and I have no problem. This is my property. I can still go there. And I mean, my kids used to play in that culvert. It's kind of sad because.
I don't recommend that, but it is still your property. Yes.
Okay. All right. Cause all right. You remember Mike, those kids hung out there all the time.
we just want to put the culvert in.
Yeah, I got it. I want a road too. It's kind of nice living down here with no cars, but I still get cars. Everybody keeps turning around. They haven't figured it out yet.
I don't believe the signs.
No. Any idea when this is going to start? Like,
So we're making progress on that regard. But I'm understanding it's going to take time to fabricate the materials that we're talking about, these box culverts. So if the groundbreaking probably won't be until a late spring, they should be wrapping up probably by late summer, is what I would say.
So our hope would be to have it open for Labor Day.
Yeah, that'd be a good hope. Yep.
There you go. We got a little timeline. Let's see if we can stick to it.
wouldn't that be great?
That would-
I was kind of hoping before next winter.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
The
well,
the plows get stuck in my driveway because they turn around. I've got tractor trailers coming down here. I'm like, it's crazy that they go around the edge. I don't get it. You know, it's like it's really close.
that is crazy.
I'm glad we were able to answer some of your questions.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I get it. And it'll look nice. I hope it'll look nice. And I'd really appreciate if the city would be able to take care of some of those trees and open it up so I don't have to climb over them to get down to the beach anymore. Because we still go down there. I take the trash barrel down. I pick up all the little nips. I pick up all the coffee cups and all that kind of stuff. And I try to keep it up. I kind of missed it the past because with the guardrail and the cars going flying, but now it's really like quiet. But it's winter, so maybe in the spring I can get down there to really clean it up.
Your ward counselor's on it, so. it'll
Absolutely, Kat.
Thank you, Mr. Burns.
get- Any other questions from the
So
committee?
again, please keep our number available or email, so contact us if you have any problems with the contractor, so.
Okay, I will do that. Yeah, I talked to them. So far, no, they've been fine. I just didn't really like the easement piece. You know, you stick it on the property, but I don't know. It's
I
just-
have found as a realtor that if you explain it to your clients, they understand.
Oh, well, yeah, oh, yeah. And I mean, I'm probably gonna stay here until I'm gone or I can't go up and down the stairs, you know, one or the other. But, you know, it's just nice to have a clear property rather than,
Well, we gotta get that beach cleared up for the grandkids, so.
that's true, because I have one coming. My very first one is coming in July.
Congratulations.
I'm so excited.
Well, Mike's a good swimmer. According to him, he learned at the pool at the high school, so he can,
Yeah, we all did. We all
teach
did it.
anybody how to swim. We hear he's quite a swimmer.
I
It's
didn't
all
go to,
different. Right now, it's kind of mucky down by the beach. I don't know what happened. When the kids were little, it was wicked, wicked sandy. The whole river just shifted.
And they'll do that. The swans like it there too.
All right,
Everything. You should see the creatures down there.
no further questions. Let's have a roll call vote. Counselor Burns, this is for a positive recommendation.
yes.
Counselor Adams,
Yes.
Counselor Figgy, yes. Motion passes 3-0, positive recommendation for the order of taking of the easements. Any other items, gentlemen, that we weren't aware of when the agenda was made?
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Motion to adjourn?
Okay,
Second.
motion to adjourn, second, all in favor, Burns,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Figgy.
5:52 PM.
Meeting is adjourned.